They say family is supposed to lift you up, but sometimes they're the first to break you down. My name is Evelyn Mae Thompson. I'm 78 years old, and I've learned that not every table filled with food is filled with love. That night, I had cooked all day: fried chicken, collard greens, sweet cornbread. My hands shook from arthritis, but I wanted one last family dinner before I moved into assisted living. My daughter, Denise, said it was too much work for someone my age, but I just smiled, pretending her words didn't hurt. When we sat at the table, I bowed my head and thanked the Lord for keeping us all together. My voice cracked. I said, "Father, I know I don't have much time left, but thank you for every breath." And then I heard it. My own grandson laughing. He whispered to his mother, "She always cries about dying." And they both laughed, right there, while I still had tears in my eyes. I wanted to stand up, to shout, to remind them that one day they'd cry too. But I stayed silent, because sometimes silence is the only thing that speaks louder than words. That night, I sat by the window, watching rain hit the glass, and I said to myself, "Lord, if they can't see my heart, then show them yours." I didn't know it then, but that prayer would change everything.
For more real stories of pain, truth, and redemption, subscribe now and hit the bell icon. Your support keeps these voices alive. A week after that dinner, my body gave up before my heart did. I was taken to the hospital, short of breath, alone in a cold white room. Denise didn't visit, not once, but I wasn't angry. I just prayed. "Lord," I whispered, "if my tears mean nothing to them, let them mean something to you." The nurse, a kind soul named Martha, held my hand and said, "Ms. Evelyn, sometimes God makes them laugh first, so He can humble them later." I didn't understand it then, but I would soon. Days passed. My breathing got better, but when I got home, I noticed something strange. My jewelry box was gone. The photo of my late husband, gone too. I called Denise, and she said, "Oh, Mama, maybe you misplaced them." But I knew I hadn't misplaced anything. I'd been robbed, not from strangers, but from blood. I sat in my chair that night, holding my Bible against my chest, and I said, "Lord, I won't raise my hand against them, but I ask you to open their eyes." And He did, just not in the way I expected. Two months later, I got a phone call in the middle of the night. My daughter's voice trembled, not with anger this time, but with fear. She said, "Mama, we lost everything in a fire. Their house, gone. Every piece of gold, every dollar, turned to ashes." I didn't say I told you so. I didn't ask why. I just closed my eyes and whispered, "You heard me, Lord. You really heard me." For more real stories of pain, truth, and redemption, subscribe now and hit the bell icon. Your support keeps these voices alive. The morning after that fire, I sat on my porch with a cup of coffee and a heart full of silence. The sky was pink, The air was calm, and for the first time in years, I felt peace. I didn't rejoice in their loss. I just thanked God for his justice, gentle but firm. A few days later, Denise came to see me. She looked smaller. Her fancy clothes were gone, her pride too. She sat down across from me and whispered, "Mama, I'm sorry. I forgot who raised me." I didn't say a word. I just took her hands, the same hands that once turned away from me, and held them tight. I said, "You laughed when I cried, but tears have a way of finding their way back." Denise cried harder than I'd ever seen. And in that moment, I realized forgiveness was the only thing left to give. I opened the Bible and pointed to a verse I had underlined years ago. "Those who sow in tears shall reap in joy." I told her, "You see, baby, God doesn't forget the sound of a mother's cry. He just waits for the right time to answer." From that day on, Denise visited every Sunday. She cooked, cleaned, and listened, really listened. And though the fire took her house, it gave her something far greater, a heart rebuilt in truth. Sometimes God's justice isn't thunder and lightning. It's a quiet morning, a mended heart, and a tear that finally means peace. They laughed when I cried, but God heard every tear.